We're recording.
We are.
Hi, it's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. This is the Tilton Northfield Fire Department Commissioners Budget Meeting. Were we not recording?
It's okay. It's on the tape.
Okay. Take two.
No. just-
October 22nd, 2024, Commissioners Budget Meeting. We're in the Tilton Town Hall downstairs meeting room. Members present include the three commissioners, the chief, Kathy, Deputy Chief Sean, and Helen. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna, what?
Time.
Oh, it's 5:33 p.m. Thank you. I'm going to table the minutes until the next meeting because the minutes are quite lengthy, so I want you guys to have opportunity to go through those between now and our next meeting, and we'll just approve those at the next meeting. Public comment? Helen, anything at this
Yeah,
point,
I'm
Remy?
disappointed there's no extra copies so I can follow along.
Oh, sorry about that. But we'll go over it clearly so you can follow along. Deputy Helvini, anything to? Okay. So, where do we want to start?
Page 2, the insurance costs are inaccurate now. You can do the 210s and the 215s.
All right, so if we're under Personnel Administration, 4155,
Yes.
210 Group Health Insurance.
Yes.
All right, I move line 210 Group Health Insurance to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Okay, Chief, you've got $352,985.
That's correct. I was predicting an 8% increase in cost. It came in at much less than that, so we saved some money there. I think it was 5.9% for us?
5.1.
Yeah, 5.1% for us. So that's,
Is our actual year-to-date for 2024 accurate?
It is as of today.
And will we end up at the 329,000? Probably. Because that's pretty.
based on, yeah.
So that's a 5.1% increase.
Yes.
And is all that increase due to the rates going up or change in
There's some-
insurance
We still
coverage?
have some changes in coverage because some people have gotten married, some people have had babies, more babies on the way, and that changes things. So what we have in the budget here reflects what we currently know going forward into next year.
Well, that's going to add up, isn't it? Well, that is what it is, right? We don't really have a choice.
Not really.
Any other questions for the chief?
The deductible.
Oh yeah, the other thing.
Did that include it in here?
Well, the deductible is usually a separate line item.
That's
but,
right. Yeah.
What we, as our policy, our fire district has paid 100% of the insurance deductible that we have for our employees. And depending upon the plan, it could be for a single person, it's $500. For a two-person plan, it's $1,000. For a family, it's a maximum of $1,500. And so we've been able to pay 100% of that. Going forward, starting January 1st, we are only allowed to pay 50%. And the reason being is because Health Trust has been offering higher deductible plans, and still municipalities and others were still offering to pay 100% of the deductible. So you have a cheaper premium, but what they expected is with a higher deductible that the customer would be shopping for their x-ray or their lab tests. And if they're getting 100% deductible paid, why shop? I'll just have it
Skin in
done.
the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Health Trust has changed their policy on that, and so we're only allowed to pay 50%, but we didn't have a high deductible plan, we have a lower deductible plan. So, but going forward, we're only allowed to pay 50% of that, so we should probably talk about, the employees are losing a benefit that we were able to provide them, and so we should talk about what we can do to help compensate for that benefit loss.
We also, don't we need to change the policy, the official policy?
Well, whether we change the official policy or not, Health Trust policy, I'm gonna have to sign the document saying this is what we're doing. And if I don't sign it, we won't have the health insurance, so.
Well,
So we can change the policy at the next regular commissioners meeting, but
can you prepare copies of that and send that out so we can review it before the meeting and then,
I think that's in the personnel policy manual, I think.
and then propose the new verbiage that we'll need to accept?
That
Mm-hmm.
to that is a 7% lift.
Because the insurance rate went up 5%, plus we have people who changed their
Okay, so
plan.
just the rate is just
The rate is
5.
5.1%,
Yeah.
not the increase. The increase is what, 7 point what?
7 something.
That's right.
I'll run it again. It was like 7.1, 7.2. Because you know somebody that's going to come up.
Well, I think in the sheets that we hand out, I'm not sure we put in
Yeah.
that 5.1%.
7.3.
line.
Yep, 7.3. But to be clear, that it's 5% of that is a rate
Rate increase, and the rest is
Is
a
a
change in coverage.
preferences and coverages. Yeah.
We haven't increased the size of the departments,
Right.
but the members are still the
Yep.
same numbers. So some of the things I was thinking of to try and help offset that benefit was that the district change the percentage that the employees pay from like 88 to 90% or something like that to help offset that benefit loss.
Well, how much do we pay out in reimbursement?
Sometimes it's as low as like $1,500
It
a
wasn't a
year.
lot of money left.
And I think the highest I've seen it is maybe $4,500 or $5,000. But we have, since I've been here, we've been traditionally a young department that doesn't really get ill. We are starting to age a little bit now. Our senior members are getting older, and so maybe they might need to use their health insurance a little bit more often. But most of the deductibles that we've used in the past, since I've been here, are usually for babies.
Yeah.
You have, I'm looking at page 7.
Is that the health insurance deductible?
Health insurance deductible reimbursement. And it's got $1,500 in there for the actual 2024.
So far,
Yes.
I know a couple more that, at least one more coming in.
So that amount can vary from year to year, and so for example, if it was $1,600 and you had 16 firefighters, you know, we're roughly spending $100 per firefighter to cover the deductible, and with the new program, it would only be half that amount.
Correct.
So your thought is that we should look at other ways to make up for that lost benefit. But going from 88% to 90 is probably way more than $750.
Probably. I didn't calculate it out, I was just trying to run some ideas through my head to.
All right, well, we might have to have that as a discussion in a future meeting.
Yeah, it's not a pile of money. It's really, you know,
Right.
but I get the notion and the principle of it.
All right, any other questions on line 210? Accept the motion to accept the dollar amount for that line. All right,
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
all right, in the amount of,
352,985.
all right, I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Okay.
All right, line 210.1, insurance opt-out, I move that to the floor for discussion.
Second.
So this line item is what we offer staff members who typically would be able to have insurance from their spouse, potentially, and choose not to be insured by us.
That's correct.
Correct.
And when do they make those decisions?
They have to be made by November 1st, right around that, I think technically November 2nd.
The open enrollment,
Yes,
they have to make it by the middle of December.
And based on, this number that you've got in there is based on what we're currently experiencing, and you don't see anybody changing?
That's correct.
that's correct.
How many people we got? Yeah,
8, so.
How many people are covered under the health insurance plan? If you got 8 not,
We have 19 people that are eligible for health insurance.
Do they have to prove that they're covered otherwise?
Yes.
This is a policy that the commissioners put in place maybe 2017-ish or so.
We have 7 people that opt out, 5 family plans and 2 two-person plans. And then we have 12 that take the insurance, 8 of which are family plans.
Family plan cost the district next year 37,000. Okay, I don't have that sheet in front of me, but
yeah, it's
It's-
30,000+.
yeah. So by paying them not to take it, we actually save money.
Well, and it does represent, you know, that percentage of employees, their spouse is, in theory, a better plan than we're offering.
Perhaps, yes.
Or a more affordable plan than we're offering. Any other thoughts on that? Does the state do something like that?
I don't know. I don't know why they would. I mean, I don't know why people would not, why they would go for that, because I'm there for the insurance, not the paycheck. It's good insurance and it's really expensive.
state's probably got one of the best, except for the government.
They have folks that are spouses at Concord Hospital, and they go with the state insurance,
Yeah.
because the Concord Hospital's
Yeah.
plan is horrible.
True.
Pretty bad, you work in a hospital and get crappy insurance.
We sold the car to one of our somebody who works for one of the finance companies that we use,
Yeah.
and they financed the car through their credit.
Yeah, that's pretty telling, huh?
We won't name any names. Yeah, that's great.
I do the same thing.
All right. So that amount is what it is.
Yes.
So other than reviewing that policy and adjusting what the compensation might be based on the employees and what they're electing, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Has it always been a fixed rate? I mean, how do we figure
How do you figure what?
how much they get?
For an
If they
opt-out.
opt out?
Yeah,
It's,
You
It's-
decided that it was the district's portion of the single-family plan.
oh, yeah, that's right, okay, I remember.
Single
now.
person.
Yeah.
Single person, sorry.
Yeah,
Single
you're
family,
right,
single
you're right.
person. Whoops,
Yeah,
yeah, you can still be single and have a family.
that's true, you can. We had one, they just got married, so now they have a family
I
plan.
know, yeah.
The firefighters get married?
Yeah.
Very exciting. Good for them.
Tuesday. We could go today.
We could go to that, yeah.
According to the marriage certificate, it says the 18th.
Well,
They had to get.
They had
to get married
because they were
They
out
had
of
to
the
get married
country.
in the
And then they
country.
had this.
Yes.
They were not in the country when they got married. That makes sense.
Or-
Yes.
So they had to get married here first, and then have the ceremony. I didn't even think
They
of
got
that.
married here after the ceremony?
Oh,
Yes.
All right, so motion,
I'll make a motion to accept 210.1, the opt-out, the 92,130.
I'll second it.
all right, any additional comment? All right, no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, line 211, dental insurance, I'll move that to the floor for discussion in the amount of $30,470. This is something new.
Yes, so last year during the pay analysis study, every other fire department that we analyzed on the sheet, and I have it in here, offered dental insurance. And during the discussions with the budget committee, they said that they'd probably be in favor of offering dental insurance here, but just not last year because it was such a large jump of last year. And so I put a policy together for the commissioners to look at, but this would be the amount that we would need to fund it.
And does this amount take into consideration if we were to approve this, that it wouldn't start until,
January 1st
would it be retroactive back to this January 1st?
to,
January
or the
1st,
next January
2025.
1st of 2025.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
So it's not, it wouldn't take effect after the meeting in
No.
March. So this would be an annual amount,
Yes.
Yes.
and not a 9-month amount, okay.
And what percentage does it pay?
100% of that figure.
So no participation from the employee.
That figure does not include participation from the employee.
And in a real quick nutshell, what type of program is that?
It's the same program that we have currently that the employees pay for 100% for under their paycheck. So it's a Delta dental plan.
$1,000 for annual, then they pay 50% for like dentures and stuff, and 75% for fillings, but a total maximum of $1,000 a year.
Yeah, I had to have a root canal one year and it didn't come close to covering the total cost. But
No, my understanding for most of those, the idea is to pay for preventative maintenance so that you don't have those.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, do the,
Go ahead, I was just wondering if it's family plan.
It's
Or is it
very,
just-
Varies,
it's the same as the health insurance.
so you can have a single
Single,
plan, a two-person
two-person,
plan, or a
or
family
family.
plan.
So-
And this amount is contributed to what each person has for their health insurance.
What about the people that opt out?
I don't think we have anybody that opts out for that.
I mean, they opt out on the insurance,
We have people that don't have dental insurance, yes.
so they wouldn't get this.
I think it's probably better for them to take the dental insurance and have their teeth cleaned and x-rayed and
Well,
stuff like that.
yes, I
Yeah,
understand
they're not
that.
taking it because they don't wanna pay for it. But if we do pay for it, then that number might change. People opt in, right? Goes the other
Right.
way.
Yeah.
which meeting are you here for?
Planning board.
That's
That's
been
up-
canceled.
Upstairs.
That
Canceled?
meeting was canceled.
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 Huh?
That meeting was canceled,
Oh, no kidding.
yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
In your investigation last year, do other fire departments that offer dental pay 100%? No, I have Delta Dental at work and they don't pay 100%.
I'm not sure, I don't believe I asked that specific question. But let me look and see what my numbers are, let me find it.
I do have other
The
people.
state have dental?
Yeah.
Delta Dental?
Yeah, so 2 claims a year and you pay for a bunch of stuff.
How many people is that covered?
That covers 19.
No, but if you have a family plan, that's 4, right? Or is that-
For the,
Well,
Dental?
yes, the
No.
numbers appear
I
that
based
they're
it on
paying
what
100% of the
everybody's
What
cost.
everybody's got.
what they would
Except for the
qualify
town of
for.
Belmont, it looks like the town of Belmont only
You just-
pays a portion.
It seems expensive for me, $1,000 of coverage.
Because everybody's in the, for family plans are in the 1600s, 2000, 1800, 1500, 1600, and Belmont is 748. What they
You
contribute.
could just give it
To
to the
dental.
employee.
So I didn't ask that specific question, but that's what it appears.
So I guess we're talking about multiple things here. We're gonna offer dental and do we
And
wanna?
what, to what percent?
To what percent, and then do we wanna fund it to that dollar amount? Is that something we want to continue discussing, or do we want to,
When it comes to this here, I'd like to see what things are on the bottom line, then we go back to these. So if we can if we have to reduce it, this is where it's gonna take a hit. I mean,
all right, so how do you wanna proceed?
I,
Keep it in until we back it out.
yeah.
Do you have any idea what, if you want to do 100% or 88% to match the health insurance or 50%? Because I have all those figures for you if you do.
We paid 50%, what would it be?
If you paid 50%, the annual cost for the district would be $26,000, wrong one, $15,235.
It'd be about half.
So it's half.
Yeah, it's half, be half.
So based on the numbers you're looking at over there from your comparison, like Belmont might be paying half.
Belmont's paying half. It appears that everybody else is paying 100%.
I know, I know, that's what it is.
You say it. I don't take it now, so.
And every town's a little bit different, like health insurance.
Depends on who your employee mix is, to what your
Yes.
total premiums are.
Yep.
All right, I make a motion, we accept the dollar amount of $30,470 for line 211 dental insurance.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
Okay. We put it in so we could potentially take it back out.
I think they
closed.
canceled, Tom.
They canceled that meeting tonight.
He's not gonna listen to you.
I know.
He'll figure it out.
The only reason I know is because Pat told me when she was here.
Nobody there. All right, let's move down to line 215, group life insurance.
That meeting was canceled, Tom.
One more time for the camera.
I move line 215.01, short-term disability to the floor for discussion. And it's, the chief's amount is $4,651.
Second.
It is what it is.
It's down, but it's up.
Well, the rate is down, but
Because it's based on earnings of the previous year.
Yeah.
So the earnings went up, the amount due was up. The premium, whatever you want to call it.
Premium.
are you anticipating that we will get close to that $4,506? I mean, it is what it is, right?
Right.
So it's going up $145.
Yes.
Bottom line, it's almost flat on the appropriation.
Hmm. Can we take the whole group as a group?
I would consider
You can.
this, yeah.
All right.
I would just make a motion to approve the 215 grouping at 16,550.
All right, I'll second that. Additional discussion? Chief, do you want to add anything on any of those lines? So that's group line of duty, New Hampshire State Fireman's Insurance, life insurance, and long-term disability.
That's correct, that's that group.
Just doesn't seem like a lot of money for all those things.
We're hoping the odds are
Odds are in your favor,
rare
right?
that we have an incident.
All right, any discussion on any of those lines? That is amazing. Everything's going up in that.
Maybe next year, if you guys want to go to the the public hearing that Health Trust has, you can sit down for 3 hours and listen to their actuaries figure out how this all happens.
But do they have paint drying too,
They do,
as an opening act?
they do.
So,
I can send you the PowerPoint if you like.
Death by PowerPoint.
we see that the price moved up from 14,200 in '22 to 14,600 in '23, and it's going to be 16,100 in '24.
Grew the department too. And wages.
Yeah, 4 additional firefighters that way.
I mean, they were on.
They
but-
were on, but we're being reimbursed some of those expenses through FEMA. But last year, we assumed the full cost of all of them.
Thank you for the reminder. All right, any other questions? All right, we have a motion to approve line 1656, group life insurance, line 215, in the amount of $16,550. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Social Security line 220.
Make a motion.
Wait on that one,
You gotta wait?
Well, if you
because
want-
that is based off salaries and wages.
So you could do unemployment compensation if you want, but the retirement, Medicare, and Social Security are all based on salaries.
Yeah.
You want to discuss salaries today?
Get them over and done with?
We can discuss it, doesn't necessarily mean we'll be over.
I know, but it'll give a good start.
Can we talk about the unemployment compensation line?
Yes.
Okay, I move line 250, unemployment compensation, $500 to the floor.
Second.
What is that? Because there was no dollar amount year to date, and there was no dollar amount last year.
We're self-insured for unemployment compensation, and the only time that a dollar amount will show there is if someone claims unemployment against us, and that would generally be someone on the call company. If they get unemployed from their regular job, their full-time position, then they can, when they claim unemployment, it goes against all employers.
That
And
they work for.
That they work
yeah.
for, and you pay a percentage.
So the volunteer, that happens with volunteers,
It
huh?
does, yes.
So if I went on unemployment, I could,
No,
it would
if
affect.
you're an elected official, it won't affect you at all.
No, I know.
Sorry.
You need to go, or?
Not yet.
All right, so that's sort of a placeholder. Why do we choose the amount $500?
We have to have something.
Because if we do have, there've been times when we've actually had to pay because, and it usually ends up being much more than $500, depending upon how long they're unemployed, but we just throw $500 there as a start.
Yeah, like a, if it's not recorded in time, that's a thing for that.
Inflation to me should be 250.
Yeah, anything resulting in a lost workday, that's thousands.
Yes.
Okay. Entertain a motion?
Make a motion to approve, line 250 for $500.
Second it.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Nay.
Okay. All right, where are we moving to next?
To the yellow highlighted area,
So line 430.05.
yes. So the Center Street fire alarm monitoring is,
Refresh my memory on why that changed.
so when we lost our
That's right.
consolidated communication wires, our fire alarm system cannot be monitored anymore because they need the copper wires. And so now we have to install a radio box, different than the radio box that we have at Park Street, and have it monitored.
So is this dollar amount of $2,375 for the monitoring, or does that include the installation of equipment?
Includes the installation of equipment and 1 year of monitoring.
What's
The monitoring fee is $350 a year.
How much is it?
$350.
Why wouldn't we pay for the equipment out of
Tower fund?
tower fund?
So if we could, actually.
We were talking about that already.
I don't know if we talked about that specifically. I'd have to.
I think that's in your minutes from last meeting. Central Street alarm monitoring, $22.75. That dollar amount's not right, because that would be the equipment plus the monitoring.
Yes.
We can't fund the monitoring out of it.
No.
So yeah, we approved that at the last meeting.
All right, so we can amend this amount.
But we approved the wrong amount. Okay.
How so?
Because that $2,375 includes 1 year of monitoring.
Service, and we can't pay,
Right.
pay for.
So if we get the exact breakdown, it should
It's
be.
$2,025 for the equipment, $350 for the monitoring.
Right, so that should have been $2,025.
Right? That's what we'll spend out of it.
And this should be $350.
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept line 430.05 Center Street fire alarm monitoring in the amount of $350.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, I'll move line 430.011 generator to the floor for discussion.
Second.
The amount the chief has is $325. That's again monitoring.
No,
No,
Turn up.
that's the annual service from the company that services that generator, it's Central New Hampshire Generator out of Concord.
Okay.
Have they done it this year?
I don't believe so.
Running out of time.
Yeah. And that is an accurate number because I had them.
All right, it's just that they haven't done it yet because there's no actual there
Yeah.
yet.
I figured
follow
maybe
with
they did
that.
it and we didn't pay them yet.
I haven't seen them there, so.
I'll follow up with Farrell tomorrow, he'll deal with that, so.
Derek's in charge of that.
All right, any questions
Oh,
on?
it's P-Lo,
It's
changed,
P-Law.
it used to be J.
It used to be Derek, but it's P-Law.
Make a motion, we approve 430.011 for the amount of $325.
Second.
All right, motion been made and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Page 4.
Page 4, near the top.
So that generator's at Center Street.
Right.
Can you add to the description there, Center Street? Oh, it's part of the group is Center
Yes,
Street, okay.
yes.
I'm just not smart enough to carry that down.
That's not true.
So now we're moving to Park Street.
You don't get a break for going to the, I mean, going to vote.
No.
What, no, actually, explain what they actually do. They would check the, come in, change
They
oil.
change the oil, they check the plugs, they run the generator, make sure it's running to the appropriate current and the voltage. They check the emergency transfer switch. I know that's what they do, that's what I've seen them do. I haven't just stand there. and
There's
watch the
multiple
guy do
parts,
it.
don't they replace a little stator in there every year?
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure, but.
Like an air filter.
Sounds like a lot of money though.
You're probably paying most of that, just have the guy show up.
Yeah, you can't bring the generator to the shop.
All right, so I move line 430.091, Park Street Tower Generator to the floor for additional discussion. That's $325, just like the Center Street station.
I'm gonna make a motion, we approve that line for that amount.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. All right, line 430.092, Park Street Tower Monitoring. I move that to the floor for discussion. We put a placeholder in there of $1.
nope, that's what it's gonna cost next year. But we still have to buy the equipment. I have the equipment in another section, or we can use the tower fund to pay for it.
All right, let's get, where is that and how much is it?
The amount is $2,768, and it is the orange highlight on page 11. And it's buying the equipment that does the monitoring.
What page are you
Page 11.
Under apparatus and equipment fund.
This line right there.
on? All right, under the line base stations and repeaters.
Yes. Because all that equipment's used to monitor all that stuff. So that's, seemed like the best place to put it.
And that's in the equipment and apparatus fund?
Yes. On the other hand, we could use the tower fund to fund it as well. And not have it here at all.
Now, that's for the equipment. What about hooking that all up? That include
That
that?
includes the installation and everything.
So what do you think about whether that money should come out of equipment apparatus or out of the tower fund?
I'd like to see it come out of the tower fund myself.
That's my recommendation.
Yeah.
That's what I think it should be.
Yeah.
All right, so that wasn't in this list
No,
last?
so if you make a motion for this amount to come out of the tower fund to pay for that, you can do that tonight if you like.
All right, so let's go back to line 430.092 Park Street monitoring. I make a motion we approve that line for $1.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. You have QuickBooks highlighted in there.
Yes.
Yes, that
We
needs
need
to
to
be,
rediscuss that.
needs to be adjusted.
All right, I'll move line 342.10, line, page 4, to the floor for discussion. We have previously approved that amount of $3,231.
Second.
All right, so what's going on there?
After it was approved, we discovered that they were not, part of the charges were not included because it's like at a different time of year. It's $800 for support of QuickBooks. And if we don't pay the $800 in addition to the $3,231, we will get no support from QuickBooks themselves
How often do you use QuickBooks support?
frequently.
Unfortunately.
God, they got you coming and going.
They
Well,
do.
what they keep doing is they keep changing the software, they're adding more stuff to it, which changes things in the past of how you used to do things, and now all of a sudden you don't know how to do something because they changed something, and it's all in the cloud, it's not like a,
We have QuickBooks at work, and it sucks.
I don't mind it, it's just that when they do a giant change, it's like, okay, well, this is wrong now, how do I get it
Where's
back?
my stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to contact them for them to get it for us.
And they charge you for that.
If-
They create the problem, but then you gotta pay them to solve it.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and hence
What a
the,
good gig.
We're all in the wrong business.
Yeah.
hence the support program.
yeah, they're doing an update, and all of a sudden, we're supposed to bill, what did it say we were doing? We had to, we were owed people money that we already paid to, and that had to be taken care of, and then there was something else, I forget what it was, but it was like, come on. We did an update.
Yeah, that was not fun.
So you're saying we're, what, $800 short?
$800 short,
Yeah, we're looking for the $4,031 amount.
please.
Is that an annual kind of license?
It is.
Yes.
Funny how it didn't post in 24 that way.
Oh, the actual being 2714?
No, 3231 appropriate. 3231 they were asking this year. Looking at.
And then they increased it $800 for the support.
So that's a new.
That's new, yes.
Okay, so that's not.
When you buy the product, you get like a year free support or multiple? How long have we been using QuickBooks?
We've been using QuickBooks for several years, but we switched to Enterprise because the one that the Desktop Pro that we were using was not strong enough to do what we were doing. So we had to increase it to the Enterprise, and then, yeah, they've done away with Desktop Pro now, so that everybody's going to Enterprise, and,
Wasn't there a middle tier that we were into for a while?
yeah.
But since we're kind of running a government through it, there's certain functions of QuickBooks that we have to have.
Right.
Yeah, we needed the more robust system.
Make a motion, we amend our approval for 342.10 QuickBooks up to $4,031.
Any second?
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Alright, we go cut $800 out.
Go find it.
Well, I just was thinking about, I had another question. It's probably not the appropriate time, but I'm bringing it now so I don't forget it later. But Paul, you were at the budget committee's meeting. What can you report back to us? How did that go? I see a bunch of numbers filled in for the budget committee, but some of them aren't. I don't know if that's because they
That's because they didn't do them.
didn't get to them yet or
Right.
approved
But
nothing.
most everything, yeah, I mean, they didn't, I can't think of anything
We
they.
changed a couple minor ones.
Yeah, but they were, I think there was only one that I can remember.
Yeah, like heating fuel, they nicked $500 on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was the only one. Other than that, it just,
Or another 3,000 on
They might not have-
IT.
They might not have gotten through all the lines.
Oh, the IT's light because
They
of the
didn't.
QuickBooks, because of us.
Yeah.
Alright.
When we're done here, can we go back to page 4 and do the workers' comp and property and liability insurances? Please. We skipped those.
We did workers' comp,
Did we?
the $500 line.
No.
No.
This is the workers' compensation policy. It's 4196.
Total insurance is
500 is the unemployment.
Right.
Oh, okay.
All right, so staying on page 4 then, let's go back up to,
So then I have a different question.
the 70,000,
Yes. It's on page 4.
what's the insurance,
It's workers' compensation
And that's-
insurance.
okay,
you
that's,
got your question or?
Well, yeah, because we went and did unemployment compensation.
Right.
And we had I thought we were kind of flying into the guise of workers' compensation.
No, that was unemployment.
So that's not being out on an injury, that's just if they get laid off.
If
from
they
their
get
other
laid
job.
off,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, no problem with clarification.
Yeah,
All right, so on, any other?
all right, now where are we going back to?
We're going to page 4,
You just-
under 4196,
Yeah,
workers' comp, subgroup 260, in the amount of $70,781. I move that to the floor for discussion.
second.
How often do you pay that? Is that like?
Annually.
It's an annual fee.
That's tied to salaries though, isn't it?
Yep.
Previous years?
Yes.
It goes into a jumble of how much time you use it and all that kind of stuff, and all that fun stuff.
So that's just how much it is?
That
That's
is.
it.
Seems like a pretty big increase, 10%.
Well, again, just lifting the salary from
Yeah.
taking on the staff. I make a
Goes up.
hesitant motion to grudgingly approve line 4196, 260, the amount of $70,781.
Is there a second on the begrudging?
It's through gritted teeth.
Is that you, Paul?
yeah, I guess I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion on line 260, workers' comp? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It seems like every year when we're going through the budget, there are fewer and fewer things that we can have a discussion about.
Right.
All right, let's move down to, in that same section, sub area 480, property and liability insurance. I move lines 480 and 480.01 to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Now, this is the property in the vehicles,
This is liability of building,
just the buildings?
both all the buildings and all the vehicles.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And again, who do we get that insurance from?
Primex,
Primex,
And those are the best deal in town.
yes.
yes. They also offer a ton of education to reduce liability. We use them for legal services, to look at contracts for liability purposes. They offer lots of training for supervisors training, human resources training. They even have trainings for police car drivers so they don't crash their cruisers.
So this insurance covers liability for any of our actions, and it covers property damage for buildings and vehicles.
Yes,
Do they break it down as far as how much is what?
I haven't,
I mean, I'm just curious. I would assume vehicle liability keeps going up. I mean, it just consistently goes up here, 28,000, 33,000, 38,000, 43,000. $5,000 a year.
yeah. The property portion went down 8%.
Because
But-
the value of the property. They came out and looked at the property. I'm sorry, that wasn't.
Yeah, and it, you know, and then they take into consideration, you know, loss ratio, adjustment factor, and so, yeah.
Hmm.
The overall increase was, the contribution percentage change was 14.9%.
Yeah, I mean, you go insurance for.
Well, you get a lot of dollars worth of equipment.
I understand.
Well, driving through town at 100 rate of speed at times too, there's additional risks and,
and they only really insure the vehicles. They do a replacement cost up to 20 years of age. After 20 years of age, it's maximum of $10,000
yeah.
on the vehicle.
That's a huge difference from year 20 to 21.
Yeah, oops.
So do they, I wonder, do they prorate it? I mean, you buy a vehicle for 100,000.
It's the
Next,
it's a replacement cost.
okay, so that's
So up to 20 years
Okay, up to
replacement
20.
cost. After 20,
full replacement.
yep.
So if we had an ambulance that was 20 years old, it would
19
be worth,
and a half and take it for a spin.
it would be worth practically nothing, but the replacement cost would be $400,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
maybe.
would need a lot of work.
This is
Take it
being
for a
recorded.
joyride, right? Yeah.
We're not keeping an ambulance for 20 years, but the $1,000 deductible, we have a $1,000 deductible.
We do,
so-
yes.
And
Yes.
we use that this year?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
On.
Is it a
Generator.
$1,000
That was
deductible per
on
incident?
generator.
the generator,
Yeah.
Oh, and the damage.
yes. And it's $1,000 per occurrence.
So we're hoping that we don't have more than one occurrence.
That's right.
I got it. Well, looks like we didn't have an occurrence in 2023 or 2022. All right, any other discussion on that?
Nope.
All right, I guess I'll make the motion then for insurance 4196, line 480, in the amount of $43,825 and 480.01 in the amount of $1,000.
Second. Sorry.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, do we want to talk about salaries, or are we not ready to talk about salaries?
Well, I'm always ready to talk about salaries, but I want, you know,
I think we ought to move further
What?
I know Paul prefers to save that to the end.
to the end.
Okay.
Well, that would be November 4th. You put it off tonight, it's November 4th.
Okay.
We'll discuss it. We can really, I think, finish the rest of this tonight except for salaries.
Okay.
Because it's, yeah, definitely.
That clock is hard to read.
Yeah, it's 6:27.
Okay, so page 5, anything else on page 4?
No,
Don't think so.
so we can start with 560 on page 5.
We got the training, if we want to talk about training.
Oh,
Which I
training,
previously
right.
discussed training, but then you said you wanted to put it off. And I'm happy to have that discussion again tonight if you wish.
You want to do that with salaries? Yeah. All right, let's move to page 5. Dues and subscriptions. I move line 560 dues and subscription to the floor in the amount of $6,518 for discussion.
Second.
All right, any questions on any of these? I see a lot of them are just repeats of last year with at the same amounts.
That's correct.
You've got a new one here, International Association of Firefighters. Or-
Fire service
Fire
instructors.
service instructors,
That,
Sean.
so as a training officer, I have to develop lesson plans and stuff. And well, I know a lot of stuff. Having another association to help you out, develop your lesson plans and develop your trainings has been a great resource. And
So it's a subscription?
it's a subscription. I can go on their website. They have lesson plans there. They, trainings of the week, and then every month they have a bulletin out. You should be training on this to help keep you current. So we're not out doing the same exact training every day.
Can I ask Notary Public?
Yes, so we have 2 notary publics. Kathy.
This is like a
So I can
renewal
notarize
fee?
paperwork.
What
That's
is
the
it?
renewal fee. And there's, neither one of us are renewing next year,
What's the renewal time frame?
5 years.
5 years. Which is why that's 0 this year?
Yes.
Okay. What is Great Land Yearly?
Oh, that's, you can blame the IRS for this one. You can no longer file paper forms to the IRS for your year end. So 1099s have to be done electronically. The Great Land Yearly is so that we can do those electronically.
It's like the access port software crap.
Mhm.
So this year you paid $293, but you're only putting $200 in.
I'm hoping
Hoping what?
that it
It's
stays
gonna
at
be less?
200.
Why was it $293?
Because, well, you have, it's, $100 is your enrollment fee in the program, and then you have your transaction fees. So it depends on how many 1099s that we send, it is how much it costs.
Is the enrollment fee charged annually, or is that a one-time?
Annually. Everything is annually with them.
Everything in this list is annual.
Chief Fire Officer Certification. How many of those are we gonna do every year?
Well, it depends upon, right now, I'm the only current chief fire officer. I have to recertify that.
Okay. But in years,
We're
in
working on-
22 and 23 it wasn't done, and then 24 it was like $40 and.
It depends upon, that's $198 to recertify.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why $40 was there.
And I don't know why it's $350.
$350.
Do you have to
Go
go
up one.
do you have to go somewhere for training for that, chief?
Yes.
The next line, I'm not talking about safety officer, I'm talking about the chief fire
Right.
officer. The $350
Yeah,
line.
but I just asked if
Yeah.
you have to go somewhere for a training for that.
No,
to recertify.
that's the recertification cost. And it's supposed to be, oh, I know why, because I wanted to get the deputy included. I did my chief officer certification last year. I'm getting the deputy.
And how
go
long is
through
it
that
good for?
program. It's a 3-year recertification.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering,
Yes.
is, yeah, all right, cool. That makes sense.
It's a 46-page application. But he's busy right now. We'll get him.
Just got busy this morning. I haven't even told you.
Yes, you did.
Oh, did I tell you?
No, you're kind of venting. Look.
I don't know if there's any other questions that be asked.
I'll make a motion, we accept line 560, total dues and subscriptions for $6,518.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to talk about office supplies?
It's next on the list.
All right,
Let's
I'll
go.
move line 620, office supplies to the floor for discussion. The chief has an amount of $3,000.
Second.
Last, with year-to-date, I know you've been holding back, and we're at 1522, and the year before you spent $2,800, and the year before you spent $4,700.
That's correct.
Do we spend less money because more computerization, less paper, mailings,
Well,
stationery?
We haven't been, stationery would come under printing.
I realized that as soon as I said it, that's why I didn't say postage.
Yeah, it's like,
But, because we're not having stationery printed, we're actually using more paper.
Oh, because you just print the logo.
Yes.
The letterhead,
Yes.
yeah. So we may be saving a little bit in another line item,
Yes.
but, how accurate is, do you feel that $3,000 is?
I feel comfortable with that number. If I wanted a different number, I would put a different number in.
well, what did you,
Looking over the previous year's experience, that seems to be where we should be, barring any crazy shortages or something and the prices being jacked up.
So how have you been able to maintain that $1,500 year to date?
Skimping and scraping and not doing stuff that should be purchased. It's gonna go up because I have to buy ink for the computer printers.
Yeah, that, like, I'm almost out of ink and I don't have any ink in my,
I'm almost out of ink and Courtney's almost out of ink, so.
Right, and the other,
How's your ink supply?
gotta lock your office.
oh, I got a pile of it.
Got none.
Yeah. You see that happen at work, everybody's printers out of paper, it's like, anyone around and took the paper out. They're too lazy to go upstairs and get more. Okay, any other discussion? All right, a motion?
I'll make a motion, 620, office supplies, $3,000.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. I'm just gonna move line 620.1, data destruction to the floor.
We are doing our
we're
own
doing our own data
destruction now.
Okay.
You burn it.
No, you
No.
can't burn it, but Courtney's great at shredding.
Oh, okay.
All right, so if we don't fund that line for a certain number of years, it goes away?
Next year it goes away.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. I move line 625, postage to the floor for discussion, and the chief has an amount of $500.
Second.
Have you not spent any money on postage, or did you carry over a
$18.
whole bunch of stamps from the prior year?
We bought a whole bunch of stamps the prior year because the price is going up. But we're gonna be running, that supply is going to run out, so we're gonna have to buy postage this year, next year.
Actually, we're down to about $300. I cut them in half or something.
Cut the stamps in half or cut the.
Use them twice.
The post office frowns on that.
Is the amount of outgoing mail the same? I mean, we don't see less with,
Probably
No,
less with me,
with,
because Hubert did everything by mail and I do everything by email, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
yeah. There's some stuff that we can't get around mailing. We email everything that we possibly can.
Help me, I'm trying to save a few dollars.
Make a
here.
motion.
I did. I'll make a motion that we fund that line for $300.
Second.
all right, we have a motion that's made. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of line 625 postage in the amount of $300, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries.
I was gonna go after the office supplies, so. Let me take $100 out.
All right, I move line 635 gasoline to the floor for discussion. The chief has an amount of $6,132. Did you second that?
I did. I'm seconding it right now.
Oh, I'm
Second.
sorry.
It's fine.
So you put a note in there that you have it up 2.2%?
Yes, I looked at the CPI index and year over year, that's what it says it was gonna go up.
Make a motion, we level fund it at $6,000.
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion? What do you, I do have further discussion. On the actual, you're at 41.54 if you extrapolate that out.
That is through
What's that through?
October, no, September. September's bill comes the end of September, it's
So
due
about
at the end of October. That's the 9
$1,500
months.
a quarter, $1,400 a quarter. $1,400 this quarter, make it 55.
16.
On price, wow. I think they're gonna underspend that account.
Yeah.
If it goes,
And the
it's
price of fuel
averaging
is-
out,
is
it'll
down a
probably
little bit.
about the $5,500 range probably. Is probably what we'll spend this year,
I mean, gasoline is really just you guys in the pickup.
the forestry.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't go up that much. It's, I would say 90% of that fuel has gotta be you two guys.
So
80% of it's his car.
You both live out of town, so I mean,
No,
there's no, but like the big trucks are all diesels, so.
next year, when we get the
Gas ambulance.
get
Yes.
the gas ambulance,
So it'll be a
the
different.
diesel will go down, but the gas will go up.
The gas ambulance we're expecting that to show up in the early part of 2026.
Right.
So that budget locked.
If it showed up today, I'd start using it today though.
All right.
It would bring us to a total of 2.
Yeah.
It's still in the shop.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor for level funding at $6,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So you're an ambulance now?
We have been since pretty, every day since the last meeting we had when we said we had been down for probably 3 weeks at that time.
Better in shop more than out.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that ever gonna get rectified? Is that?
We have a new engine module coming.
Well,
Well, it's
they
there.
said it should be in yesterday or today. I called him this afternoon. They put me to voicemail.
Oh,
I left a message to call me back and just give me an update. I'm still waiting for the phone call.
yeah.
They have my cell phone number too, because they call my cell phone quite often.
What was it, Saturday, you had all those ambulance calls at the same time?
Mm-hmm. We only had
I'm
one.
sitting there going, we don't have enough guys for this, we don't have enough
Ambulance.
vehicles either, yeah. That was a tough afternoon. All right, I move line 636 diesel to the floor for discussion. The chief's got an amount of $24,864.
If I extrapolate our usage for this year out to the end of the year, it comes out to $24,112.
But since one of the diesel ambulances is been in the garage,
Come out
just fine. I make a motion, we level fund it, $24,000.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Right, we've got a motion on the floor for $24,000. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's go to line 670, books and periodicals. Chief's got a dollar amount of $85. I move it to the floor for discussion.
Second.
So you, last year that was zero funded, but you actually subscribed anyway or purchased anyway?
That's how much appropriated, is it zero? Oh, I zero funded it myself when we had the
Yep.
budget shop off.
So is that a subscription?
Yes.
Shouldn't that be under subscription?
Well, it's under books and periodicals, so it's a,
Because it's
an
an
accounting
actual,
thing.
it's actual paper thing?
Yes, actually, it comes
Okay.
as a paper.
Does anybody read it?
Actually, yes.
Yes, I do.
We do.
It's the only one I see him reading. All the free ones we get.
Amazing, you get what you pay for, right?
I never knew that. But all the papers that went electronic.
Right, any further discussion? All right, I'll make a motion to approve line 670 in the amount of $85.
I'll second it.
Second. I'm sorry, he seconded. That we're voting.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, line 680, departmental awards. I move that to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Chief's got an amount of $3,000. We had that amount last year. We haven't had our awards ceremony.
December 5th?
December 5th.
December 5th. Is
Yes.
everybody RSVP'd?
You did. Paul did. I'm
Jason.
waiting on Jason.
I never got a thing.
You didn't get yours?
Came in the mail.
Yeah,
Meadows you didn't get.
That's a
No,
waste of
I know, I
time.
sent a new one out to him.
yeah, I didn't.
Oh.
Oblivious, so.
Okay, so I'll have Courtney send another one out tomorrow.
All right.
You can email it to him.
I could do that.
It's December 5th.
Okay. That's easy.
Early, 5 o'clock
5 o'clock,
Save,
yes.
save the stamp.
at
Lock me in.
Lockman Country Club.
And how many people will you be bringing?
I don't know.
So you want me to email that to you? Jason?
No, I get it.
Well, we need to know how many people you might be
All
bringing.
right, I'll have to figure it out.
Email a reminder.
Let Kathy or Courtney know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are we gonna have a good turnout with the guys, for the most part?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Gonna get paid overtime to go?
No.
No.
We feed them.
Okay.
She did a nice job making my cocktails, so. I think I got my money's worth. All right,
I'll make a motion, we accept line 680, Department Awards, 3,000.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
All right, we're ready to go to page 6. I move line 685 uniforms to the floor for discussion. let's do it as a whole group, $14,850 is what the chief has down. Move that to the floor for discussion.
Second.
All right, we went from $15,000 to $11,000 to $4,000.
We didn't have much choice on the $4,000 one,
Yeah,
That's where we were saving,
savings.
yeah.
I've had guys coming to me, can I please buy some uniform pants, please? I have holes in mine.
So,
so, I mean, not really letting guys use their clothing allowance this year unless it's dire. And there are some dire cases, so I'm budgeting for what that we would normally have next year is what I'm trying to budget for.
so typically, would you approve, if we approve, 18 career uniforms at $600 each, would we typically then buy 18 sets of uniforms at $600 a piece, or would we only buy what we needed?
We only reimburse what they actually buy, and this is what is allowed, up to $600 per person. And it's whether they need boots or pants or a jacket. There's some items that are very costly. Pants now are $100 a piece. Shirts, like this shirt is $65. A coat, if you need a coat, it's $350, winter coat. Pair of boots is almost $200 now. So it's $600 sounds like a lot of money, but it doesn't go very far. And it gets the
So
crap
if-
beat out of it.
If they choose to buy more than $600 worth, they pay the difference?
I will say we use cotton clothing, because per NFPA you have to use cotton or fire-resistant clothing underneath our bunker gear, so we all use cotton clothing. The fire-resistant gear now is, I think a pair of pants is $375. And these are station pants, the stuff you wear every day. So you typically need 4 pairs of pants, 4 shirts.
Yeah.
So we've chosen to go cotton for a couple of reasons, but it's much cheaper in the short term, but it doesn't last as long in the long term. You get about a year out of a pair of pants instead of getting a couple, After a year they turn purple and get holes on them. We do our best, but the $600 goes quickly, especially when you're buying a pair of boots or a pair of pants. And the t-shirts even now, I think the t-shirts are $36 or $37.
Yes, they are.
So the $600 disappears pretty quickly. And this year not having the whole 600 is, so guys are not only, now they're gonna have to make up for what they couldn't buy this year. So next year at
So
600.
they'll all use all the.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
next year,
yes.
yeah. Especially, because they've basically spent about $200 a piece this year. So there's some holy shirts out there.
Very much so.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions?
Make a motion to fund total uniforms in the amount of $14,850.
Second it.
Okay. No motion, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, line 690 miscellaneous, and move that to the floor for discussion. We got $1 in there to keep that account open.
Second. What did we spend it on?
It's what the
$128.
Okay.
30. This year we spent $3,613 so far. No, $128. I forget what that's for.
They have the officer roundtables, and when
Oh
we,
yes, yeah. We hosted.
and when we host, we
We had the
provide refreshments.
the coffee and stuff like that.
Well, 2023 was 800.
It's a bigger group.
Yeah. All right. So we fund it for $1 and hope you are able to cover everything else. All right, I make a motion we approve line 690 in the amount of $1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's move line 775, dry hydrants and cisterns to the floor for $4,000.
Second.
This is for, I have to hire a diver to go in and look at all the,
This is
Right.
maintenance.
yeah,
Yes.
and,
How many does he actually do?
yeah, he did repairs for us.
I know,
this
but
year.
how many does he
He
do?
does all the dry
All
hydrants.
He does it all,
Yes.
that's what it is for all of them?
Yeah, he comes, sometimes takes him a couple days to go through them all, but
This doesn't include any new?
No.
This is just
this is
maintenance?
maintenance on what we have, inspection and maintenance of what we have. And then he tells us what, if he can fix it, he does. If he can't, he tells us why he can't fix it. Sometimes it's all silted in, it needs to be dug out, the thing needs to be raised or relocated because of silting conditions. That happens to a lot of them now. They're just not as deep as they used to be, some of the water sources that we've used.
I guess it's probably gonna come up somewhere else. The one you were gonna install on Sanborn Road?
It's at a dead stall right now.
No, do you have to wait till wintertime when the ground's hard enough to get in there?
So I've heard like 16 different excuses why it hasn't happened. One, they wanted the ground to freeze, then the pond was too frozen to pump out, then there was going to be a wedding there, and the wedding's already happened, then the contractor didn't have any help, and I guess there's 4 excuses. Those 4 are real.
All right, so that one hasn't been installed
It
yet.
hasn't been installed yet.
I'll make a motion, line 775, dry hydrants and cisterns, $4,000.
Second.
All right, motion's been made. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We need to do these other ones, obviously, to keep them open.
Yes.
Okay, I move line 4723, tan interest to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Do we ever use that?
And
Have
we
we ever
did-
in the past?
We have in the past, yes, but it's been
A long time.
quite a few years,
Hmm.
so we haven't.
So the towns are pretty good about sending us.
They are much
Money
better
and
now than they
time.
ever used to be.
Yes.
Tilton always paid quarterly, monthly, and
Northfield was quarterly.
well, yes, they were quarterly, and that's when we ran into trouble.
Are they monthly now?
They're monthly now,
Because the law says they have
yes,
to be.
Oh.
No.
yes.
Oh, that.
Yes.
Mm.
All right, I make a motion, we accept line 4723, the amount of $1.
Second?
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, 4790, credit card penalties. I move that to the floor for discussion. You don't have a dollar amount in there, chief, and we've spent $125?
Yes, because I scheduled the payment, and they never drew the money out before. So I had to, as you notice in the manifest, there's 2 of the credit card that's under my name. One was for last month where they didn't pull the money, and I didn't realize it. So we got hit with the penalties, and I'm in negotiations with them saying, hey, look, I've got the paperwork that says it was approved.
So we're trying to get that credit.
I'm trying to get that credit back,
Okay,
but yeah,
so we don't typically put any money in that
we
line?
don't typically
Do we have
fund
to put
it.
a dollar in there to keep the line open? Don't we have to put a dollar in?
You do, yes.
All right, I'll move line 4790, credit card penalties, I'll move a dollar amount to $1.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do you have to do the same thing for capital overlays?
Yes.
All right, I move capital overlays to the floor, line 4900, for discussion.
I don't even know what we use that for.
Well, You used the land when we purchased the property beside the Park Street station.
I know what the land is, and
What is capital overlay?
Outlay.
outlay, that covers it all.
that's the
Oh,
general.
that's all this
That's the
amount.
All
general, so
those,
you could do
yes.
the whole thing for
Oh,
$5.
My mistake, sorry. All right, I make a motion, we approve $1 in line 4901 land, 4902, $1 capital out machinery vehicle equipment, $1 line 4903 capital outlay building, $1 line 4904, $1 for design, engineering, and architectural fees, and other line 4909, $1, for a total of $5.
I'll second it.
Well, what's the 09?
Other,
Right.
Could be anything.
could be anything that's a capital outlay that doesn't fit into any of the other categories.
How many years before, if you don't put any money in those accounts, they come out?
3 years.
3,
3? 3.
yes.
All right, motion's been made. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
I think we can probably look through the apparatus and equipment budget.
People will wanna,
Which starts on page 10.
All right, sorry. Thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So we're on page 10. All right. We start with Comstar billing.
Yep.
All right, I move line 4220-331 billing services, Comstar, up to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Chief's got that down for $37,500.
Which is level funded from last year. Actually, our ambulance revenue was up over last year. Comstar collects, even though our transports are less than last year, our revenue was up. So we're doing a better job of collections. Comstar collects 6.5% of the revenue that we collect. And so whatever we collect, they get 6.5% of it. And I believe this amount will be adequate to cover what I'm anticipating in ambulance revenue. It's something that we have to pay, and if we don't use this amount, it just goes back into the fund as unused. So over.
And if you overspend, it's because you're making more money.
Yes.
The income shoots right up, so.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we accept line 331, Comstock, 37,500.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Secondly, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, move line 332, paramedic intercept to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Chief's got that in for $1.
Yep, so that's a fee that we would have to, if we had to pay anybody, probably Concord Fire. If we didn't have a paramedic on duty, we're heading towards Concord Hospital, but need a paramedic to help with the patient care. In the past, when we have used them, they charge us, was it $5.50
I think so.
per intercept?
Sounds right.
Something like that.
Yes.
And we haven't used them in the last 3 years.
Right.
Correct.
But we want to keep it open just in case.
Yep. Okay. I make a motion, we approve line 332 in the amount of $1.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, I move 630, equipment maintenance repairs to the floor for discussion.
Second.
The chief's got a list here in the amount of $19,715.
It's broken down by line. He had a specific question about either one of those. I'd be happy to answer them, or do you want me to just
Well, some of these, are you anticipating repairs, or are you, is
Some-
some of it maintenance and some of it's repairs?
Yes, so, like the Plamo vent, that's the exhaust system for the engines. That we have a service contract, but there's always other things that break on it. And, the base station repeaters, there's always something little that goes wrong with that, but it needs to be fixed. And all our repeaters are out of warranty now, so we have to actually cover the cost of repairing them. All our radios are out of warranty. The only parts of our radio system that's still in warranty is the receiver that we have on Pleasant Street that was grant funded last year. Which I received a grant this year to add 2 more receivers, one at Park Street and one at the state building place. The state,
Yeah.
the state, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Lake Estate on Winnisquam is the new hotel.
The new hotel.
Name of the week.
I don't think it's gonna change, I think they put the footings for the signs, but
They did.
SCBA, $3,260. What does that cover? What type of maintenance repairs?
So every year we have to do flow testing of every device that we have. So they do an inspection, a cleaning, all that kind of stuff, and they do a flow test, which to make sure that the device is working properly. So we don't want anybody stuck in an environment. It's an FPA requirement that it has to be flow tested every year.
This covers replacement masks and straps.
That's further
That's it.
down. That's on the fire.
The flow test is on
The flow
630,
test.
113.
Flow
on the
test
next
is a
page.
service testing.
Okay. SCBA compressor.
So this, you were asking what this line
Oh,
is
the
for?
Yeah.
3260.
So these, as they get older, we have to replace these at 15 years old, but as they get older, more stuff starts to break.
Yeah.
So
And
the straps, masks that break.
a lot of times the bottom of the bottle gets chipped off from dragging guys through doorways or going through a doorway, because you're wearing these when you can't see, and so they get pretty beat up.
Smashing the things.
Okay. EMS equipment, $6,600.
Is that the stretcher? Because the stretchers are out of date.
They are out of date.
Is that the big?
Well, it's sort of a catch-all, EMS equipment, that's,
Right.
you have
So
a lot of
everything.
But
it.
we're talking like the monitors, the stretcher.
The stair chairs, the auto pulse, all the big cost items that, a lot of our equipment is in the older stage now. We did buy a new monitor last year because the price was gonna go up. We bought it for the new ambulance, so that's still under warranty and all that kind of stuff, but all our other monitors are over 10 years old, and the auto pulses are 10 years old. The stair chairs and the stretchers are all older.
The stretchers, they won't even put in a service contract, they're too old now to Because we used to pay for a service contract for our stretchers, but now that they're 15 years old, they won't allow us to be in the service contract period anymore, so now we have to pay for any repairs. And we will get a new stretcher with the new ambulance, so that'll help, but until the new ambulance comes.
The stretcher company and the stair chair company, it's the same one. They get to a certain age and they don't want the liability, even though
Right.
we make sure they look at it and do whatever needs to be done to it every year. They must have a lawyer somewhere saying, oh, it's 15 years old, we're not gonna be liable for it anymore. But they will fix them, and they charge pretty good.
I might have misspoke. That might be on the. Whoops.
So out of that 19,000, how much of that is already obligated? I'm not sure if that's the best way to put it, but because it's contracted versus, I mean, you've got $500 down there for fitness equipment maintenance.
So that's an agreement we have with the association that the district contributes $500 each year for the maintenance of the fitness equipment, the stair climber and all those things. And that policy was in place actually before I came here as chief.
But obviously some of this is in anticipation of having repairs.
Most of this is repairs. Service testing is in the next section.
Yes, this is all in anticipation of something breaking and needing to be fixed.
Spent 13,000 in 2022, 8,800 in 2023, almost 11,000 this year.
So it's getting older.
So that's getting older, and you're
Getting out of
probably
warranty.
putting stuff off. It's 19,000 excessive though.
Well, if it's not used, it stays in the fund.
Again, yes, if it's not used, it just rolls back into the fund. I've been here for 10 years, and I'm not in the habit of spending money that isn't been appropriated without, specifically appropriated through this budget process without asking the commissioners, this money is left over, we need to do this, and I have a history of coming to the commissioner and saying, this money's available, we need to do this, is it okay to use this money for that?
And this is out of the apparatus equipment fund, I have to keep reminding myself.
Yes.
Right, any thoughts?
Go with it.
Paul?
No, I'll make a motion, we accept the total equipment and maintenance repair for $19,715.
Second.
Right, we have a motion, any additional discussion? Right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Anytime we can repair something, not have to buy a new one,
Yeah.
as long as it's safe.
All right, I move line 631, service testing, to the floor for discussion. The chief has that line totaled, all those items totaled out to $23,324.
Second.
So a lot of these items haven't been done yet because historically we wait to the end of we're in the end of the year calendar for most of this stuff, like the aerial ladder. Though we're gonna change companies for
Yeah,
that next
This
year.
is the last year.
Yeah, it's the last year that we're using New England guys. So the ladder's over 10 years old now.
So in the past, 11,800, 13,600, This year, we don't know what the total's gonna be, but we're at 22.9. That number must, you were basing that on what you know it's gonna cost to do these tests.
That's correct.
And you're up $400 over last year. For the current year.
Yes.
So,
There's, I'm trying to look through here to see if there's anything that's crazy, and there isn't. It's all things that I,
Water filtration system service.
yes, so
I know.
those are the water filters for the fire station. Because the
Oh, because of the pitting and the,
Yes.
yeah,
eating the paint,
yeah.
which is crazy.
so do you think when you're done with all the testing for this year, you'll be pretty close to that $22,947?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I move, service testing, line 631, in the amount of $23,324.
A second.
All right, you have a motion seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's talk about 660 vehicle repairs. I move 660 vehicle repairs to the floor for discussion. The chief has a dollar amount in there of $45,063.
With my fingers crossed.
No, that's down.
Yes. And the reason being is that what I didn't go into the thing, but there are some, let me find vehicles. Vehicle spreadsheet.
No more rescue.
That's right.
Belmore Rescue, that's one of the things, which was costing us several $1,000s a year.
But we have an ambulance that hasn't run in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gotten the bill for that yet.
That opens up the other.
That's the older ambulance, right?
Yes, the 2017, yeah.
I don't know who put the tabs on these, but they're all
Which
upside down.
21C3?
That's my car.
His car.
C2 is Mike Robinson.
Okay, so he's C2.
Yes.
Here we go. So, both the ambulances are level funded, are at 45, because they're gonna need 3 PMs, an inspection, set of tires, and the undercoating inspection. Those are oiled, because I think the pickup truck is waxed, and that's $100 a year for inspection and touch-up. Engine 1, I have 2240, and that includes an inspection, 1 PM, and undercoating. Same with engine 2. Car 1 is inspection, 2 PMs, undercoating, and it's going to need a set of tires. Forestry 1 will need inspection, 1 PM, and the undercoating. The boat, I have $188 in there, and that's for the motor. How old's that motor, Sean?
I bought that motor in 2006, I believe.
And replacement outboard motors are expensive.
And they're 4-stroke. This is the 100 to 1 2-stroke. So keep it going.
Keep it working.
Those 4-strokes are heavy.
Car 3, 2 PMs, an inspection and the undercoating. Utility 3, which is the 6x, I have in there as a PM for 240. Utility 1, which is the new pickup, all I have in there for there is inspections, a PM, and the undercoating. Tanker 1, the PM for that is fairly expensive because it has a lot of systems on it. It's older, an inspection and undercoating. Ladder 1, the PM, again, is expensive on that. Undercoating is more expensive on that. It's a much bigger vehicle and an inspection. And then I threw $100 in for the fire prevention trailer.
Is that going anywhere or doing anything these days, this month?
Not much.
Just kind of waiting to buy a new one, or?
Well,
No, well,
Because I know.
that was the original plan, but I think we're gonna.
I have
go
a
different
proposal when we get to the warrant articles.
Yeah,
direction. So,
spoiler alert.
and then, yeah, and then,
I see it, you know, driving to and from work, I'm like, But I've had, at my work, I've seen other towns bring this to auction and get out of them, so I think it changes on the horizon.
so, and then the other things I have in the budget for that, and the vehicle raise is $20,000 for, I don't know what else is gonna break.
The wild card.
Yes. But we don't have the rescue this year, so that reduces it. The pickup's still brand new,
No, yeah.
and so I don't anticipate. My car's really not very expensive, other than tires. It already had brakes done this year, so it won't need brakes next year or anything like
Body
that.
work.
Yep.
What year was that one?
Mine's a 19 or 7? 2019? 2019. So it's 5 years old.
I'll make a motion, we accept line 660 vehicle repairs for $45,060. I was gonna say 2. I know what it says.
Or
I
just
was
round
gonna
it,
say
or just round it.
3.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, group 740, fire equipment. I move to the floor for discussion.
Second.
What, Chief's got that in there for $94,997.
Correct. The first thing I want to talk about is line 740.103. If the commissions want to take that out of that line and use the tower fund for that, if you want to make a motion to do that, we can do that and just take it out, which I think it would be appropriate.
That would bring it down
spot.
to $92,229.
What was that dollar amount?
$92,229.
Full house.
This
$92.
vehicle claims
Well, I'll make a
That's
motion.
Wakefield.
Well,
Oh.
that's
Does he
what
not
they,
work?
here. Evidently not.
oh,
I was gonna make a motion to, move the dollar amount for the repeaters and base stations, under dot 103, and of the amount $2,768, and pay that out of the tower fund.
I'll second that for discussion.
All right, you have a motion and a second, discussion?
What's, the 2,700 is one thing, what is 27,000 that was appropriated there this year,
That was for.
unexpended?
It's unexpended because I was working on a different grant, and this was going to be the match to it,
Okay,
which I didn't get.
all right.
And the grant that I gave, the current grant that I have has no match,
All right.
so it's going to stay in there.
So, this is one of those sections where it's really hard to compare year over year over
Took
year,
all the
because
things off the
it's
rest.
different things
Was it
each
no
year.
one put
Yeah,
one
yeah.
for the fund white to do it? I did it. I was thinking about
All right, so we have a
that.
motion on the floor
Twenty
about
off that.
740.103 to move that amount of $2,768 to the tower fund.
Yep.
Any additional discussion on that? All right, hearing none, are you ready for the vote?
I am.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Back to the fire equipment.
So in June, I put out an email to all the firefighters, and all our firefighters, they're all responsible for something within the department. And I get all the requests, and I put those in the appropriate lines, and their requests come out to this amount that is now there is $92,229. And this is stuff that we generally buy mostly every year. The big ticket item I have in this year is an SCBA washer at $45,000. And what this does is takes the SCBAs we wear and puts them in like a dishwasher with a pull-up thing, and it thoroughly washes the SCBA. Currently, what we do now is we take the SCBA and we wash it with a bucket of soap and water and a brush. Well, I've been to 3 demonstrations of this machine. So they'll take an SCBA that's been used in a fire, they wash it with soap and water like we do, and then they put it in this machine and wash it through the machine.
Not black.
Yes. All that black is cancer. And we're trying to reduce the risk of our firefighters from getting cancer. And so this is something I feel very important that we need to get. It's not the latest and greatest, but it's fairly new technology for the SCBAs. You can also wash gloves, helmets, stuff that you can't use in the
Extractor.
yeah, the extractor.
What about the mask?
The mask you can wash in there as well, yes.
Is this a fairly new item for fire departments to own?
Yeah, there's, they just, let's see, I saw it first at the Fire Chiefs, the National Fire Chiefs Conference. I think it was in Austin, Texas, in August, because I remember it was hot as.
So chances are nobody around.
No, there are departments here around. I got 2 estimates for it, and they're both almost exactly the same. From
But
two
are there
vendors.
fire departments around
Yes,
that have this equipment
yep.
installed?
So Salem's got one, Derry's got one, Dover's got one. And I talked to Gary, and he said someone else, I can't remember who else just got one.
Right, how often would we be washing that type of equipment?
Well, every time we expose our SCBA's to a smoking environment, we need to wash them. And we do it now,
Training,
even in training.
right out of
yes.
the gate, really.
Yeah.
And is that a piece of equipment that's not eligible for grant funding through any source?
So I actually tried to get a grant for this, but when they look, they ask the right questions sometimes. And they say, how much money do you have in the bank set aside for equipment purchases? And when you tell them you have over $1 million in the bank, they say, yeah, this grant's not for you. You can buy it yourself.
So how big is this thing and where would you put it?
It's about the same size of an extractor, and where I want to put it is in the Park Street Fire Station, kind of underneath the stairs is one of the places we were looking at.
Yeah, we were talking about either moving the slop sink out there and then put it where
Yeah.
the slop sink is,
Where the
or
fire
put it,
is.
depending on, we took a tape measure.
That's a
down there.
standalone unit, it's portable, can go wherever
Yes,
build and.
so if we built a new fire station, we could build
Just
a new
goes
fire
wherever,
station,
yeah.
like an extractor
Yeah.
or the dryers that we have, or the SCBA compressor.
So it's something that's fairly new. I mean, has it been out for years or?
It's been out for about 5 years.
I just, my philosophy is when you buy something that's only been out, next year it's gonna be better and better and better. Or you got one that was a practice one, well, not practice, but it was one of the first ones, so you're gonna have all kinds of problems with that.
Well, this particular unit's been out for 5 years, and I've seen the demonstration of the 2 or 3 other units that they have from competitors, and this one seems to be the one that, to me, that would be the best for us.
Why are they so expensive?
It's all commercial stuff, heavy duty, stainless steel, everything. It is detergent, stuff that goes into it, that metering stuff.
Probably built for 10 grand and here they sell it for 45.
How much, do you have enough hot water capacity for it?
Yes, so
enough
I asked him that
electricity.
question specifically, and he says, well, do you run an extractor there? And he goes, yes. He goes, no problem.
What's the warranty on that, something like this?
At least a year, I don't know what beyond that, I didn't ask that question.
And is that another piece of equipment that we would have then a maintenance, service and maintenance agreement on?
Well, we don't have a service and maintenance agreement on our extractors and dryers, so I imagine we'll fall into that, so if we use it until it breaks.
Okay. And what?
We've had costs with our extractors that we've had to pay for and repair. Usually it's like the soap metering system gets funky or something like that. Not with the actual machines themselves.
Power, is that like a
It's
240?
It's 3-phase, 208.
Three-phase?
Yeah, 40 amp
Do we have three-phase in that building?
in Park Street, yes.
Wow. So is that cost gonna include the installation?
Yes.
Is the extractor three-phase? What else down there is three-phase?
The compressor.
Both compressors are, right?
Yes.
regular
Yeah,
air
the
compressor.
regular and then the utility air compressor, like to blow up your tires and stuff.
You're looking to pull a total of what? 331,000 out of the apparatus equipment fund?
Well, less the $2,768, so that number would be less. And I have that too.
The funds for the ambulance that were approved last year, those are still in the fund, or do they get encumbered out?
They are encumbered.
They're encumbered, yep.
We have
So,
a contract, so they will be encumbered.
Okay.
so if you look at the balance sheet, which is at your monthly commissioners meeting, we have almost 1.2 million. I haven't seen what it is currently, but it's close to $1.2 million in there. And we're probably going to put in close to $600,000 again in this year. And next year, there really isn't anything to buy that we're, vehicle-wise, anything big. We have these yearly things that we buy, but the next vehicle isn't scheduled to be bought until 2029.
Are there gonna be any warrant articles for money out of the apparatus equipment fund?
No. There will be one warrant article for the apparatus
For
equipment
this, but it's
budget.
not like,
That's it.
nothing else, okay?
Not unless you decide you want to.
Nope.
Buy a helicopter like that, right?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
You could also buy a drone.
Yep. The guys would just be flying that.
I know they would.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about protective clothing.
That's our turnout gear.
And this is, you replace a certain amount of that every year?
Yes, so there's two reasons why we replace turnout gear. The first is because it gets worn out and beat up so much that it's not worth repairing anymore. And the second reason is once it reaches 10 years of age, you can't use it for a structural firefighting anymore.
Now, I think we discussed that once before. How many sets can we get for that?
Okay, I think we're getting 6 sets, but it includes more sets of boots and helmets and gloves are all in that line item as well.
So you're thinking 6 sets plus some other,
Yes.
and you didn't buy much this year.
I can, so I don't know how much you followed the PFAS legislation. So our gear, depending what year it was built, has PFAS in different parts of it. They can't, currently, they thought they could get the PFAS completely out. We ordered 3 sets, because the RSA that the state put forward said, if there's an option to buy PFAS-free clothing, gear, whatever it is, we as a fire department, you have to trend towards it. It's not as you shall, but you must kind of thing. So we ordered the PFAS gear. Everybody did. Concord ordered 2 sets for everybody in the fire department. I think Concord had a PO for I don't even want to say, but it was close to $1 million, I believe, for it. And then all of a sudden, everybody ordered it. It was what we were going to do, and they came forward and said it hasn't met the wear testing. We can't sell it to you. So all of a sudden now everything is frozen because we're not supposed to buy gear with PFAS, but we can't get gear without PFAS. So I know we just ordered. We changed those 3 sets. So I believe we went to the Gore liner. I don't want to speak for. I don't know if we went to the 3M or the Gore liner. There's different PFAS depending on closed cell, open cell. It's above my head where the PFAS lies. But so that's why we haven't spent, because we've been waiting all year for this PFAS-free gear, and then all of a sudden they came to us and said, we can't get it for you because it's something about the tape on the seam won't meet the wear standards. So we just we canceled all that order and then we just made a new order. It's been
It's even down to that we can't even have regular uniforms that have PFAS in it, like T-shirts and stuff like that. They don't have nothing. Starting January 1, we can't buy or offer or allow our employees to wear anything with PFAS on it in this station.
It's proving difficult.
So, like, am I wearing PFAS?
Yeah, you are.
Probably are.
Everything's it's everywhere.
PFAS is in everything. If you cook with a Teflon pan, you're cooking with PFAS. If you wear a raincoat, it's coated with PFAS.
You just keep learning all kinds of things. All right.
So it's the devil you know, the devil you don't know type of thing. I struggle with the PFAS thing because technically, yes, PFAS is a carcinogen, and you shouldn't be, touching it, especially in a heated environment where our pores are open and it could be off-gassing into ourselves. But at the same time, if we get rid of the PFAS, it makes it harder to clean our turnout gear, and all that smoke and particulates and soot and gases are all carcinogen. So,
Right.
are we getting our turnout gear as clean as we used to? Or are we not? Those studies really haven't come out yet.
Right.
And so we really don't know how this goes out until all those studies, and they take over 5 years to complete from beginning to end. So I have mixed emotions over it.
Right.
I can understand why. Well, I initially had reservations about the SCBA washer, $45,000.
Me too.
And, I think your point's well taken. If you wait a year or two, is it gonna be $35,000 because everybody will be buying them? But I also look at it from the standpoint that this is not money that's being raised by taxes. This is money that the ambulance revenue has already made available to the district, and we carry that money forward year after year after year.
With the hope that maybe someday when they build a station, we can take portions of that to make payments.
But in the meantime,
So in the meantime, you spend it.
well, but currently the fund doesn't allow you to spend that money on a building.
Yeah, but it would,
And, you're generating that revenue today from residents that are living here today. And you're promising them some fiscal responsibility that we're doing this to save them money down the road, but, it's gonna save them money down the road 20 years from now. What benefit has it been to the
I don't
taxpayer?
know.
But what?
Said, I don't care in 20 years.
Right. So, I would lean towards buying it, because at some point in the future, you know we're gonna buy it. You know we're gonna buy it probably.
Every new station comes with them now.
Yeah, so do you
But
wait?
but I don't wanna wait that long. Because once you gain the knowledge that this is a better way of operating and a safer way for our firefighters, it's hard for me to say, oh, well, just because it costs $45,000 and it doesn't impact taxpayers, we shouldn't do it. It might impact their payment on a building, maybe if it ever gets voted in at some point down the road. But this impacts our firefighters today, the second we start using it.
It's been over 100 and some odd years, they've never had it.
Didn't know you needed it.
Well,
Well, the
It's not-
fires 100 years ago are entirely different than the fires from today.
Yeah.
What's composed in a
And I
fire
understand-
today
I
is
understand stuff that's
100%
in there.
plastics,
Yeah.
gasolines, very, very hazardous carcinogens atmospheres.
I mean,
We're
that-
talking about
Whereas
the
even-
lithium batteries.
Yeah, lithium battery, geez, don't even get me going on that. The fires, and I've been in fire service for 43 years now. The fires I fought when I was first in the fire service are not the same fires that we fight today. Entirely different. Hotter, more intense,
You know, the chemicals, yeah.
worse, the worst ever. And they're not gonna get any better.
All right, so, well, let's vote on that section if there's no other questions. So I will move fire equipment 740 in the amount of $92,229.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Hey,
Okay.
No, I'm very disappointed.
let's revisit this
All right, you want to revisit it next meeting?
time. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pick up here and.
All right, let's,
On the fence, I'm working Mark.
okay. I didn't ask if you wanted to postpone it, I just asked for a vote.
Yeah, so,
All right, line 741 EMS.
I'd like to get out of here.
Okay.
In 2 hours,
Okay.
kinda done.
That's
Sorry.
fair? No, that's
Motion
fair.
to adjourn.
All right, before motion to adjourn, is there any other business, sign
We
manifest
have
list?
public comment and stuff.
So, Helen, anything?
I have something, but it can wait until next meeting.
Okay.
And I don't want to keep.
I'm gonna
it long.
read and sign what.
You won't even listen to it.
All right, any other business?
I'll wait till next meeting. I got it.
The regular meeting or,
No, it is the next budget meeting.
okay.
Thanks.
don't keep us in
All
suspense.
right, so we have a motion to adjourn. Was there a second there?
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:40 PM. Thank you, I wasn't even noticing the clock.
Tim, can you give me that pile?
So,
Yes.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Helen.